Veganuary. As you can see, we've got a table filled with goodies, and today's video is basically an essential list of all the food that I would recommend that you would have in your pantry, have in your fridge, buy when you go shopping, add to your food list, your shopping lists every week to help you eat vegan, to cook a variety of recipes with. By no means is this an extensive list. I'm kind of looking at this as like an essentials list, and from there you can build and buy specific ingredients for specific recipes or buy things that suit you personally. This is kind of like the things that I know I always have in my cupboard and I regularly cook with and regularly make food with, and hopefully it will help you out. I'm going to leave a link to the list in the description box. It will be listed all on my website. I also have lots more information like food waste tips and a full pantry list essentials on my new ebook Plant Kitchen Comforts, which I'm doing a sale on for Veganuary. So because it's 2021, I'm going to do a 21% discount on my new ebook Plant Kitchen Comforts. It's over 100 pages, it's got over 50 recipes to get you going for this year if you're looking to continue being vegan, or if you're just looking to continue eating vegan food, eating plant-based. I'll leave it down below, you can grab the discount, and that'll be valid until the end of the month, so you can, you know, get your goods and start cooking. But yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to start over here. I'm sorry if I'm crouching, but I'm like too tall to really stand straight, and if I sit down I'm just like hidden by this mountain of food. So we're going to start over here with the pantry essentials. I'm going to just try and go through this as quickly as possible. So we have, of course, rice, brown rice and white rice, essentials. Then we have pastas. I always get some kind of pasta, penne. This is a gluten-free one by Misa, or spaghetti. Alex loves spaghetti. And then I always have some kind of smaller grain like quinoa and couscous, because those are nice for lunches and you can cook those ahead of time and then have them during the week, or even things like bulgur wheat. We also have noodles. My favourite are udon, but you can get whatever noodles that you like. I cook with these every single week with stir fry if I'm not feeling like having rice. Oats, of course, like you all know how much I love oats. I have these every morning with my porridge, and you can get a variety of different types. I usually just get standard porridge oats because they cook the easiest. And then of course we've got beans and lentils. These are going to be a really amazing source of protein if you're going vegan or if you're doing Veganuary. I always buy chickpeas, kidney beans, and often buy black beans. Not every time because they are a little bit more expensive usually, but they have come down in price, and they are really tasty. And like I said, lentils, we've got tinned lentils which are already cooked, which makes it easy, or red lentils. I would go for these two sort of brown lentils or green lentils and red lentils, or you can get things like split peas. Now let's talk about nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is kind of weird sounding, and when I went vegan I was like, what the hell is that? Basically it adds cheesy flavour to your recipes. This is going to be amazing. It's a savoury kind of thing. You add like a tablespoon or half a cup into a recipe and it really gives that cheesy texture and taste. Stock cubes, I think this is essential for anyone's kitchen. I'm sure you already have it, stock cubes in your cupboard. You can obviously get vegetable stock like this or in a cube form. Now let's move on to seeds. I always have chia seeds and flax seeds. These are from My Vegan, and I am an ambassador for My Vegan, so I do have a discount code. I'll leave it down below. You can get 35% off, and you can get these things in bulk. I use these every day, so I have like a tablespoon of chia seeds and a tablespoon of flaxseed powder in my porridge every morning, and it adds those healthy omegas that are really essential if you're doing a vegan diet. Aside from chia seeds and flax seeds, I will also use things like poppy seeds, sesame seeds in cooking. I think I've got sesame seeds somewhere here, maybe not. But yeah, they're really nice to top on things or use to bake bread with. Now on to nuts. I always have a variety of nuts. Cashews are incredible to make a creamy vegan cheesy sauce with. My mac and cheese recipe uses cashews. And then other nuts are things like walnuts, almonds. Again, they're amazing to bake with, to make healthy snacks with. Back to the tins. I've put this list in a bit of a weird order. I've got my laptop over here and I'm like reading it as I go. Chopped tomatoes. I would buy these every week, no matter what, because pasta sauces, curries, etc. I will eat those every week. And then the other tin here, I think, is a coconut milk. Yeah, coconut milk. You can get like light coconut milk or the full coconut milk, and you can also get coconut cream, again to cook with curries, stir fries. So delicious. Also, alongside tinned tomatoes, I would always buy a tomato puree just to add that extra intensity into any sort of tomato based dishes. Now I've got some other bits here that are more like condiments and things that you would cook with. Of course, extra virgin olive oil. I fry everything with this because it's the healthiest oil. And then if I'm using something that's going to be a bit hotter, so in the oven, I think olive oil has a bit of a, I know the science of it, I've just forgotten. You're supposed to not overheat olive oil because it has a lower smoking point or something. So if I'm baking something in the oven, essentially, I'll use vegetable oil, and I usually go for rapeseed oil, and this is cold pressed, so a little bit healthier. And if I'm like roasting something in the oven, I'll use that. And then we've got soy sauce, probably my most used condiment. I cook everything with soy sauce because it's just so delicious, and I'm sorry for those of you who are soy intolerant. Though, if you are, you can get coconut aminos instead, which doesn't have soy, or if you're gluten-free, you can get tamari, which is also utterly delicious. Then things like apple cider vinegar and other vinegars. I always have apple cider vinegar, malt vinegar, and usually white wine vinegar and red vinegar. And then, of course, maple syrup. I put this on my porridge every morning. And it's a really wonderful thing to cook with and bake with, because with vegan baking, sometimes you're missing that egg ingredient which binds stuff. So using kind of liquid sugar really helps. And of course, sriracha. This is not the proper sriracha. This is not very good. It's kind of mild. It's not spicy, but I always have some kind of hot sauce to add to dishes. Or if I'm feeling really lazy, I will just cook with it. I forgot to pop it on the table, but alongside maple syrup is brown sugar. Obviously sugar is a staple in everyone's household, but I mostly cook with brown sugar, so I would always have that. If we're talking about baking, dark chocolate is your friend. It adds intensity to recipes, and it's always pretty much vegan. Just check the back. I love the green and blacks. And then vanilla extract. On to one of my favourite things. I used to hate peanut butter, and now I'm a full convert. This is the My Vegan organic peanut butter. This is to die for. It comes in this massive tub which lasts forever. So even though it's pricier, it lasts a really long time, and it is honestly so good. And I have that on my porridge every day, or with a snack like an apple. And to accompany the chocolate and vanilla, we've got cocoa powder for baking again. We have started to make bread since lockdown. I've always wanted to learn how to make bread, and Alex has come a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to making bread. He makes a loaf every week, and they are, oh my gosh, so delicious. The recipe is in my ebook, Plant Kitchen Comfort, so if you want to get the recipe, use the discount while you can. So you always have flour in the cupboard, always have plain flour, bread flour, self-raising flour, so we can bake bread whenever we want and bake recipes whenever we want. And of course, yeast and baking powder. And at the front here, we've got coffee and tea. I could not mention these because I drink about 10 cups of decaf Earl Grey every day. And also I have a decaf coffee every morning. Caffeine just doesn't sit well with me, but I do love a good hot drink. So, and then spices, my favourite. So I've just put a few samples here, but spices are gonna make your cooking enjoyable. If you are cooking at the minute and you're not adding spices, vegan cooking is probably going to be a bit dull. Any cooking is going to be a bit dull. So really get into stocking your cupboard with spices, add a few every month, and eventually you'll have an amazing collection. And I've got these nice little spice jars that I top up, and I try and buy them in bulk. So we've got paprika, turmeric, curry powder, chili flakes, mixed herbs, chili powder, and I'd recommend you get cinnamon, garam masala, get things like mustard seeds, what else? Ras al hanout, that's also so yummy to make vegan cooking taste a bit smoky. Cumin, did I say cumin? And of course salt and pepper. I always buy the Cornish sea salt just because it's healthier than table salt, and I don't have table salt. I have a spice tin here which lots of you remark on. It's an Indian spice tin, and it's great for using for cooking because inside it's got the little dishes in here. I've got stuff like turmeric, coriander, paprika, chili powder, garam masala, cumin, and I always have those to hand. Let's move on to these delicious looking vegetables. I always think when you lay stuff out like this, how appetizing do the vegetables look, and yet we all seem to just not want to eat vegetables and fruit. but they are the most appetizing and pleasing to my eyes anyway. So I've just put a variety of vegetables and fruit that I will buy on a regular basis. If I'm not thinking and I'm not meal planning, I will always get most of these things. It will only be if I'm like cooking a specific recipe or if it's a seasonal vegetable or fruit that I will buy it. Of course, I've got to start with onions. Always have brown onions, red onions, garlic, and what I don't have here is ginger. And in the onion family, spring onion and leek as well for stir fries and leek for soup. Carrots, of course, they are so cheap. This is the vegetable, if you're on a budget, get loads of it because you can add it to so many recipes. In fact, add it to every single recipe, just grate it in and you won't even notice. Same goes for courgette. If you aren't a huge fan of veg, grate it in and you won't notice it. We've got potatoes. I always have some kind of potatoes to make chips with or roast dinners, and then butternut squash or sweet potato. I almost forgot the lovely kale that we just got from Riverford. If you're wondering, I get most of my fruit and veg from Riverford, a delivery every week. And it's all organic and most of it is local, but yeah, so we've got kale, broccoli, all your cruciferous vegetables. They're so good for you and they're easy to add to meals. Spinach as well. I'll add this to so many things. Alex likes spinach the best because you can't taste it. If you chop it up small, put it in a meal again, it's similar to carrot and courgette in that it just kind of disappears, and it's really, really good for you and also has some protein in there. Mushrooms are my favourite thing on this planet. I will go through at least 2 tubs of mushrooms a week. I just think they're the tastiest things ever. And if you want to know how I make my garlic mushrooms, that's also in my ebook. But yeah, I will go through a tub of these in no time. Aubergine, cauliflower. I don't have a cauliflower here, but they're really, really good for vegan cooking again because they add some kind of meaty, not meaty, but they add texture and like they're a bit more hearty as vegetables. And now we have some salads at the back. I also just mentioned spinach, but things like celery. I don't love celery, but it is great for a base for soups and also to add to salads or to dip into hummus. And who doesn't love hummus? Every week I will always buy a cucumber, some kind of salad bag. Usually it's this one, it's spinach, watercress and rocket. And to bulk up the salad, I'll always get some kind of lettuce. Iceberg lettuce works well because it's so cheap, but also romaine lettuce or baby gem lettuce. Now let's move into the fruit, and let's start with kind of like salady fruit. So tomatoes. It's weird thinking that they're a fruit, but they are because you kind of don't eat them in a fruit sense. But I'll always buy tomatoes, and I used to buy the cheap tomatoes until I realised how much tastier these vine tomatoes are, and it's just worth it. It's worth spending that extra bit of money to get the taste. They just, oh my gosh, they just smell like the best thing on the planet. Oh, so delicious. And also more kind of vegetable-y fruit. This is obviously it's a fruit, but you cook it like a vegetable. Peppers, I always get some kind of orange pepper, and we've got this lovely big red pepper from Riverford, which I would pick up, but it's going to mean that all of this lovely arrangement is going to crash and all those oranges are going to roll off the table. We've got apples, oranges, and they're great for snacking or putting on porridge in the mornings, and then lemons and limes to cook with. I put lemons on everything, literally everything, and limes maybe more Asian dishes if I'm doing a stir fry, and then to snack on as well, I always love grape. Let's go over here to frozen food, because these are things that I always have in my freezer. Frozen peas, of course. If I can't be bothered to cook, frozen peas are a vegetable, or technically a legume, that I will have with a meal, because if I'm like, right Alex, I cannot be bothered, let's just throw some sweet potatoes in the oven, have some vegan fish fingers or have some vegan burgers and some peas, you just don't have to cook really. So yeah, these are the sort of thing I will have in the freezer all the time. These are vegan corn, 2 breaded, fishless fillets. I'll get bean burgers or whatever's on offer, honestly. Whatever's new at the minute in Veganuary this year in Britain at least. There are so many new releases, it's overwhelming. So we'll usually get the new fancy stuff that's on offer or in the supermarket. All the supermarkets have their own brands now that are amazing. Frozen berries, I'll make smoothies with this and also use it in my porridge. I don't really buy fresh berries, apart from the purpose of making videos. If I'm doing a recipe shoot, I'll buy them, but I stick to frozen berries because they just keep far longer. Now we're nearly there, so let's go into the fridge. So we've got tofu and tempeh. a corner, whoa, goodness me, tofu and tempeh that are like just what you need to eat, and you need to learn to like it, because I'm sorry, if anyone says they don't like tofu and tempeh, you aren't cooking it right. And you need to go watch my video on how to cook tofu, because if you do that, you will enjoy tofu. And it's such an easy way to get protein, so good for you, and it's such an easy thing to add variety to your meals. I love tempeh as well. It's basically just fermented tofu. I can understand why some people might not like this because it's a different texture, but get on the tofu and the tempeh, always have that in the fridge. We also always have some kind of vegan cheese. I love Violife. These are my two favourites, Greek White and Epic Mature, but also all the supermarkets in the UK, they have like own brand vegan cheese now, and we're just so lucky, because when I first went vegan that was not the case. And then of course some kind of vegan butter. This is the pure dairy-free olive one. We're nearly there. Oh my gosh, I'm running out of breath. So now let's go into kind of cupboard that isn't like cooking essentials. So of course, some milk. I always get Oatly oat milk for coffee, and then I have unsweetened soya for my tea. The UHT is the best to get because it means that you can always store it and just use it when you need it, and it's also usually cheaper than the fridge stuff. So I always have at least like 3 or 4 of these in the cupboard at once. And then finally, the best bit, I've saved the best till last. I did this list and then I thought, I'm not being honest, because I will buy snacks every week. Like, come on, nobody just buys fresh fruit and veg and then tops up their pantry. You've got to throw in some snacks. I love the Eat Real crisps because they're all vegan, and they're the sort of crisps that I just enjoy. I love these kind of light crisps, and these are the tomato and basil flavour. You have to try this flavour. Also the sour cream and onion, and also the cheesy puffs. They're all delicious. And I also love the Gray's crunch nut mixtures. They're really, really good to snack on. And we've also got some sort of energy bars, protein cookies. This is the Trek protein flapjack, white chocolate and raspberry. I also love the lemon one. And then of course my vegan gooey filled cookies. These are to die for if you microwave them. Oh my goodness, I have so many of these. They're utterly delicious. And that is everything. I will leave the link to my blog post down below, which has the list, so you can copy it and you can use it to reference when you go food shopping. I basically will look at my cupboards every week, think what of these things need topping up, and I'll get all the fresh stuff most weeks or most fortnights. I hope it helps those of you who are doing veganuary and who are new to veganism. I will also leave a link to my blog post on how to go vegan, and I'll link my video up here. I've got loads of recipes. As I mentioned, my ebook, which I released in December. Was it December? Yeah, the 1st of December. Yeah, you can get a discount on that if you're new to veganism, you want lots of recipes, but there's so many on my website and my channel as well, so make sure you subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what staples you always buy every week, so we can all help each other out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, thank you for watching.